I have a serious problem with my golf, and this is going to be my biggest hurdle I have to overcome. And a lot of you have mentioned this, and when doing our Tour Tier series, it has been a recurring theme, and that's my mental game. And today we have golf's leading performance coach with us, Mr. Karl Morris, who has worked with multiple major winners, and you're going to give me a complete mind reset.
Look forward to it, Matt.
So we've got down to the first hole here at Formby Ladies Golf Club. Of course I know well, and I'm going to play 3 holes, and Karl's going to be a fly on the wall observer to see what my routines are like, what my thinking is like, and just get my general demeanour out on the golf course. He's then going to step in and hopefully help me fix this big problem. Oh, it's pulley. Just down the path, perfect.
Yeah, it was interesting watching Matt there just starting off. Obviously, cold day, freezing cold day. We're out here, didn't get a chance to do any warm up or anything like that. Not the ideal first start, but let's see how he does with this recovery shot.
A hack out is needed. Only got 60 up to the front, but it's a case of whether I can actually move this. I'm going to play right of the traps. Try and take it up and down. From rough to rough. There we go. Go, good bounce. Standard bogey start. If we don't knock this one in. Oh well. Little 5. Pretty normal for me, that. Bogey always. Every good round starts with a bogey.
It was interesting to hear Matt then say a standard bogey start. Well, that's a good example of a story that's running through his mind. So as we go through today, I'm going to perhaps challenge him about how that story is playing out, and could he potentially change that story? Because ultimately the stories that we have in our head either serve us, either useful for us, are useless. So it'll be interesting to see how we do with that.
Could be the first time I've hit the fairway in 3 years, albeit it's a 4-iron, but it's fairway. Even then, as I'm stood over that golf ball then, I was thinking about the conversation we were having at the coffee table about feel, like being the driver and being the technician, and I'm at the top of my backswing and I'm thinking about stuff like that.
Right.
There's never, I've not played golf where I'm not thinking about what a camera's doing and what a video looks like and what my score's like. I've not, even when social golf, I don't really play.
So when you've played your very best golf, Matt, in the past,
yeah,
and you've been at your best, on a scale of 0 to 10 in terms of the mind being quiet, where would you say you are? 0 being completely quiet, and then 10 being
like brain dead, like completely, like didn't even have a thought. When I was an amateur, or even when I was playing good golf, it's literally there's not a thought. It's like a vacant space in my head. It's like, where's the flag, or where's the fairway? How do I need to hit a good shot?
And where are you now on that scale when you play?
10, maybe 11.
So we need to get you back to that vacant space.
Even 5 would do. I'd be decent. 230 to the flag, and 218 to clear some bunkers. One thing I know I can rely on at the minute is my short game after my lessons. So, with it being narrow, I think if I hit 5-iron, that pulls up just shy of the traps. If the wind takes it, it might creep on. If not, I've got my short game to rely on. Oh, good shot, man. There's my layup. Oh, dear God, such a bad swing.
So interesting watching Matt go through the shots, and it's not so much the shot, it's the after the shot, the commentary, the running commentary that comes out, and I'd be intrigued to ask him what he's actually getting from that. You know, it seems like he's self-deprecating, he's constantly berating himself. So there's a reason why that's happening. But I would say his commentary after a shot is probably one of I call it contamination, where we contaminate the shot that we're trying to play now with what's happened previously. And I would explore with Matt the idea that an awful lot of his shots are being contaminated by the past, and it's influencing what he's actually trying to do now. And ultimately that cliche of one shot at a time, when there's constantly a commentary going on in your head about the outcome of a shot, you're then dwelling on that as opposed to being back to this particular task in this particular moment. So let's wait and explore that. We'll have a good chat with him about that.
Do actually pretty much what I pictured there. There's hope yet. There's hope. A little left to right, just roll it in, no issue. Roll it in. Five, it'll do. It'll do. Right, 130. I just need here, I need to impress Karl, because I would imagine he's thinking there's no fixing this lad if we're playing like we are, but one nice little wedge shot could change all that. Yeah, well, wasn't a duff. It was struck. That'll do.
I see this a lot with players, you know, guys like Matt who've got talent, they've genuinely got ability, but the kind of attitude and the responses are just holding that ability back. So to me, working on the mental side of the game, you can't give anybody what they haven't got. You know, I can't make somebody a better golfer than their ability, but most people are not getting the maximum out of their ability. And I think for everybody watching this, you know, consider if you could just get more out of the current ability that you've got, how much difference would that make? Yes, you need to keep working on your golf swing, but then can you access that skill when you play on the course?
I could hold it. This is the strong part of my game, so I see the line pretty quickly. Roll it up. If it goes in, it's a bonus. If not, just tap and run. Sit, Matt, sit. Good news is I hit that one where I wanted to, so, you know, technique's working, just paces out. Good save. Good save, right. Onwards and upwards. So 3 holes played. We've had Karl observing my many mental pathways, and I think the question is it savable, Karl? Are we in a place where we can redeem ourselves?
Where do we start, Matt?
I
had messages of support before I took on this project, but I think joking aside, you know, whenever I'm working with a good player, to me there's 2 things to look at. One is you've got to develop skill.
Yes.
You know, you're working on your game with Damien. You need to do that. For everybody listening to this, anybody who says it's all in the mind, that's nonsense. You need to develop golfing skill. Okay, you're doing that. But the other thing is, can you then access that skill out on the golf course?
No.
And I would say at the moment, you know, you have the skill, you're still working on it, but you're not accessing it on the course, are you?
No, I don't feel like that.
Very much getting in the way. And I think there's a couple of key things. I mean, one that you mentioned previously is how much aware of score you are when you play. Just tell me a bit more about that.
Yeah, I think there's probably 2 issues. I'm always conscious of what my score is, whether I'm in, like, obviously we're trying to win my first pro comp, so I played one yesterday, and after 9 holes I was, I think, level, and it was like, oh great, I'm level par, right, let's keep going. Then I had a bogey, so I was like, oh no, like, and at the minute it's always, I'm going to make more bogeys than I am birdies. But then on the other aspect of it as well, because we put everything out on YouTube and you get people in the comments, I think, you know, and 99% of them are all very positive and supportive, and it's always the negative one that sticks out. But I think, oh God, like, I'm going to shoot 5 over again, everyone's going to think I'm rubbish, and it's the worst thing going, instead of just thinking, well, I know I can play, you know, I've played some very good standard golf, but I'm always, oh no, my score is me, like, not me as a human, it's Matt Fryer 5 over, chopper.
Yeah. And it's a tough place to be, isn't it? You know, you're putting your heart and soul into it. You're out there for the world to see. I mean, all credit to you for doing it. But I think understanding how our brain works, Matt, when we go and do anything, golf is what we're talking about here, but anything that we do, we're either moving towards something or we're trying to avoid something. And I think what ends up when we focus on score, you end up in a situation where you're trying to avoid making mistakes as opposed to pursuing something.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So one of the things I want us to look at today, you're not going to take score away. Score's always going to be important to a professional golfer. I've worked for 30 years with pros. They pay me if they shoot lower scores. But there's a difference between being aware of something and focusing on something. Yes. Now I'm going to propose we start to play a different game, call it the game within the game. Now if you think about it, when you play golf, every shot that you hit, there's 3 options. You're either going to hit number 1, good shots, number 2, good enough, or number 3, poor shots. And my question for you would be, what's your relationship at the moment between those 3 shots?
A lot of poor.
Yeah, but what's your reaction to that?
I'll overreact to a poor one, a good enough one I'm like, meh, and then a great one I'm like, well, that's what I'm meant to do, isn't it?
And that is 100%, you've hit it on the head there. For better players, what they end up, the relationship's this, that when they hit a good shot or a perfect shot, it's only what they should do.
Yeah.
The good enough is never good enough.
Yeah.
And the poor is like the end of the world.
Yeah, feels that way.
So I'm going to suggest we play a different game. What about that when you went out to play, that your goal is to have a different relationship to those 1, 2 and 3, and we're aiming at pursuing good shots. We're aiming at pursuing 1s.
Okay.
Having a different relationship to 2 and a different relationship to 3. So, because it's been really interesting, even watching you play 3 holes, there's a running commentary of doom and gloom all the way through. So, you know, you're verbalising your relationship to those 3 shots. So let's just play a couple of holes where we're just looking at, was it a 1, was it a 2 or a 3? And then we can get into a bit more detail about how we actually get some more 1s.
Okay, right. Let's do it then. This hole, the 4th here at Formby, ladies, there's a bunker at 220, so I think with the cold as it is today, a 4-iron will do me down the middle and won't reach that bunker. Two?
Definitely a 2. It wasn't your best.
Yeah, it just leaked a little bit more.
It's good enough.
Yeah.
Now, straight away there, because you've graded it as a 2, what's different about that interpretation than what you would normally give?
Yeah, if that would have been normal, I would have been, oh, bloody behind the trees now, I'm blocked out, this is awful, and already spiralling. That's why now I'm like, well, it just went a little bit right of where I intended.
So there's a different story attached to the outcome. But the fundamental thing with it though, and it's so important for everybody watching this, is that when you go out playing this game, you go out there and every shot is an opportunity to gain something as opposed to lose something. If I'm focused on score, every shot's an opportunity to lose something against a perceived score. Aiming at 1s, 2s and 3s, every shot, you literally, the next one is an opportunity for
a 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting actually. We do a 30-shot challenge and you get 30 shots to get around 9 holes.
Right.
And the mindset, as soon as you tee off on the first, a lot of people is, oh God, I've only got 29 now.
Right.
I've only got, so you lose it.
You're losing all the time. Because the reality of it is, you know, somebody of your ability, you put you anywhere on the golf course at any time, is it possible that the next shot could be a 1? Is it possible you could hit a good shot?
Yeah.
The reality is yes, but I would say most of the time when you're on the golf course, you're shutting that opportunity down because you've been so invested in avoiding shooting high numbers.
Yeah, everything's like avoiding shooting miles over par at the minute. There's no, like, let's play good golf.
You know, you build this pattern up then, and if we can just hit a few more 1s, have a bit of a different relationship to 2s, and deal with the 3s, all of a sudden if you start to do that, then the real numbers will start to take care of themselves.
So this would be an instance, Carl, where I go, I'm 5 paces off the fairway and I'm scuppered here. My 2 things, like you say, are not thinking about score and then reacting, overreacting to every outcome, like, oh, I find the sort of negative in every one.
And what do you think you get out of that? What do you think you get out of being so negative on the course?
Because of my dark sense of humour, it tickles me for a moment, but also I get high.
Serious question though, because I think that
nothing. I think there's sometimes like it fringes sometimes on, like it'll spur me on, but then I just fall off the edge of the cliff.
Yeah.
And it's like,
because there's always a purpose to where we react to stuff.
Yeah.
You know, would you say there's an element of that reaction is, to a degree, you're kind of letting other people know that you're a bit better than that?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
You know, but what does that ultimately do for your game?
Nothing.
Nothing. You know, the reality of it is, I've got a phrase I use with a lot of players, it just is.
Yeah.
You know, it's where it is.
Yeah.
It just is. Now, have you got the capability here? You know, we've got a tree in front of us, we're in some semi-rough. Do you have the capability to respond to this task?
Yeah. So I think from here, looking at it from down the line, with the trouble is obviously the tree and the bunker, all I've got to do is carry it 50 yards. I'm actually already picturing the ball flight. Which
Really?
Is, yeah,
well, that might
like
be important then.
Yeah.
Right, now,
something I don't do.
What would the shot feel like? You've sort of got clear on what you're trying to do there now. What's the kind of shot feeling like?
Do you know what I'd sort of describe it as? It's like when you're at the range and you just sort of chip one aimlessly forwards that goes 100 yards and you go, oh yeah, there you go, just a little body turn and nothing pops.
Okay. Very good. Now, what was that in terms of 1, 2, 3? Not the outcome. What was that like?
I'd say 1.
That was a 1.
And I also found another golf ball underneath.
With double bonus. See, that's a message from somewhere. Yeah. That's a message from above.
Yeah.
But on that one, to me, it was interesting. How involved in that shot were you then?
More than normal. So like I felt like not from a technical aspect, it was more I'm sort of like feeling it, seeing it.
So would you say then that shot created a swing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't have to.
So you link your intention of the shot to a feeling that's been trained over years and years and years.
Yeah.
How busy was your mind then? Well, probably not that busy. It was just immersed in what you were actually trying to do.
Yeah. 4 or 5 paces on, and just let it run down the hill. Nothing fantastic, just bog standard chip for me. This wind's going to affect it a little bit, but bog standard.
So what was that in terms of a shot, 1, 2 or 3?
I literally hit the landing spot I wanted to.
So that was a 1?
Yeah.
You did your bit. It's not a 1 outcome again, is it?
No.
But can you see what I'm getting at here?
Yeah.
Because you've given yourself a 1.
Yeah.
That's all I can do. You can't control that.
Yeah, I just had a dead bounce.
It's had a dead bounce.
Yeah.
So this is the beauty. It's such a simple thing, this idea of going out, playing golf. I'm trying to hit as many 1s as I can.
Yeah.
I'm going to appreciate the 2s.
Yeah.
And I'm going to deal with the 3s.
Yeah.
That's dealing with the reality of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I've sort of had the mindset of like, well, if I hit the perfect shot, it should have the perfect outcome. Because the flight, the landing spot, the strike.
You did everything.
You know, it wasn't the nicest of lies, a little bit bare and horrible, and I've done all I can do, so why get worried that it's had a dead bounce? That's not on me.
One word I'll say to all the players to eliminate from the golfing vocabulary is should. I call it shouldism.
Shouldism.
I should make par here, or that should have bounced closer. Should doesn't exist. It just is. So that one thing alone, if you remove the word should from your golfing vocabulary, you'll have a lot lighter experience on the course.
Learned something there.
Okay.
Tram line. Said I'd be raging normally.
Yeah.
Raging. But can't do much about that if you hit.
But you know, on that hole there, give it a 2.
Yeah.
Off the tee.
Yeah.
And then 2 1s after that.
Yeah.
What else can you do? You know, you say in the past I would have been raging.
Yeah.
You're only raging about the outcomes of the shots as opposed to what you've done. Great hole, this, isn't it?
One of my favourite holes in golf, this. We've got 122 yards. The other par 3 we had was 130, playing the same direction.
Yeah.
And I hit a full ledge here, so I'm just going to take a little bit off 3/4 one up the left with a little cut.
Yeah.
In between sort of the hill and the flag is my intention.
Okay. So what would you need to feel now to produce that shot you've just described?
Just my body turning across it a bit more for me.
Okay. Beautiful shot, that.
Please go in.
Go in. Seriously. That's gonna. My eyes are not good enough. Has that gone in? How ridiculous is that?
You're hired.
No, that was a 1.
Yeah, that was a 1. That's literally, as this video comes out, yesterday another person on the channel had one.
Wow.
And you know what? That was pure, like, That was just
Steady,
pure,
steady.
That was pure feel.
So describe what went on then. I mean, we couldn't have set that up, could we? You've just had a hole in one. Just describe what happened then. So you got really clear on what you were trying to do, because I asked you what's the shot.
Yeah.
But what did you then get into?
I felt a couple of swings like what I was doing with my sort of my body, like my mechanical feel, as it were, feeling the body turn. But more than anything, there's a V up in the trees up here, and I could see the ball flying up at that and then dropping towards the flag. And
so did the shot create the swing?
Yeah. I saw the ball fly and let it go in. I think we're done.
My work is over. I'll just see you in the clubhouse.
Shame we didn't have the zoom cam, but hey ho. Oh, that is mental.
That might be my marketing material for the next 2 years.
I wonder we'll get that clip over to you. Yeah, it's gone. It's in.
Has it gone in?
It has gone in.
That was going to be the ultimate anticlimax of all time then, if it was just nestled at the back. Well done.
Definitely a 1. Definitely a 1.
A 1 and a 1.
A 1 and a 1.
A 1 and a 1.
Little pitch mark there. There we go. Look at that. Look at it. Hole in one. Funny how I just said I hated golf a few minutes ago. Now I love it.
You love it.
Yeah.
You're all over it.
Hole in one, baby.
Right, what have we got here?
So this hole here, this is my second favourite hole after my favourite hole in the world now, Carl. 210 to clear that bunker, and then it's 270, 260 into the furthest one. So I'm just going to go 3-wood down the right lane. Drivers too much.
Okay.
Wasn't my best strike in the world, but I'd say it's a 2.
Definitely a 2.
2, but it's down there in the
functional.
fairway, so
it's
who
good
cares?
enough.
Yeah.
It's good enough.
Yeah. It's never good enough.
For a short golf course, there's some great holes here.
I think this is it's the best par 4 on the course, this one.
Yeah.
Into the wind.
So what's the shot? You got the yardage.
I want to make sure I get past those 2 front bunkers. They're going to be like 175.
Yeah.
I'm not really bothered about getting it close to the flag. I can just see the ball now sort of taken out off towards the flag, but the wind pushing it just into the middle of the green, just the fat of the green.
Okay. What was that?
I'd say a 2.
2. Good
I
enough.
struck it, you know, it's high calibre, it's playing probably 220 into the wind. I've just pushed it a bit, left the face
Yeah.
open a bit too much, but
Definitely a 2.
I can chip and putt it. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Matt's starting to see this difference between just being so attached to outcomes and then creating a story about those outcomes, as opposed to just dealing with the reality. The ball's going to go left, it's going to go right, you're going to hit some good shots, but 1, 2, 3 allows you to deal with all of that and then move on to the next one.
Right, we've got here, and do you know what, Carl? The 1, 2, 3 system, I'm actually quite liking, because I've not, like I said a moment ago, I'm not thinking about score loads, but it's helped me sort of quantify shots a little bit better. Like, I've actually walked up here and I'm dead excited to chip this now, because I'm feeling like I'm working on that and that's going the right way. But also, like, it's actually not that bad of a shot. It
was definitely a 2, wasn't it? You didn't hit
know,
a bad shot there.
Yeah, in the past I was like, is that a 3 because you've missed the green right and you've got, you know, 20 paces, but actually 185 into the wind,
a gale,
4 iron, you know, cold. It's actually not that far away from probably tour proximity. I've just missed the green. So
see my view now, Matt, is because you've given that a 2.
Yeah.
You're now ready for the opportunity of this shot.
Yeah.
You're not hanging on to that.
Yeah.
Do you know, I thought that was going to release and go in then.
I did.
That would have been too much in 2 holes, wouldn't it? A hole in one followed by a chip in. What was your experience of that shot like then?
I loved it. Like, I'm actually, like, it sounds daft, even obviously the hole in one, you're on cloud 9 after that, but even just after a few holes and changing my perception of what I'm doing, I'm actually enjoying hitting shots now. Like that chip a week ago would have been, oh God, it's been technical.
It's a massive point. You literally, when you change your perception, you change the game.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it's only your perception that's brought you down.
Yeah.
It's not your ability.
No. Even if I miss that, I'm like, well, do you know what? I've hit a decent chip there. I did everything I wanted to. I didn't think it would stop that quick.
Yeah.
Actually,
couldn't have played that better. That was definitely a 1.
Yeah.
Good man. Hole grabbed it.
Yeah. The good luck man came and grabbed that one. It's just what we are, just happy about golf now. That's what we do.
See, when you're happy, those go in.
Yeah, they do, yeah. When it's like not been going well,
Yeah.
obviously you're going to shy away from things. But then would it make you make poorer choices as well? Because like here, it's 251 to this. It's fairly wide open. I've stood on this tee and I've hit 8 iron off here.
Right.
It's 251 and
Right.
like I can get 5 wood onto that.
Right.
And the landing gap after this bunker is about 70 yards wide, but I'm thinking if I tug this, it's dead.
Right, so the question is, what's the shot here then? With your, knowing where your game is,
Yeah.
what is the shot here?
With the wind the way it is at the minute, and it's cold, it's starting to go up to 3 wood. And if you do, there is a brook down on the right hand side. But I think I can leave something and I'm a good enough pitcher to just hit it like 200 yards and
Right.
get past. Like I've actually, this bunker that's only 140 off the tee here, I've feared that in like the past months.
In the past.
Yeah, yeah.
We're pursuing a good shot rather than trying to avoid a bad one.
Yeah, well that's, avoiding that bad one would always be I'd stand over thinking this is a bad shot, like bad choice this, but then I'm going to hit it anyway because I've got to. I need to try and make a birdie because I've made another bogey again.
Well, we're not going to try and make birdies ever again, are we? We're going to just acquire ones, twos and threes.
and threes, yeah. Don't need birdies. Just eagles
Just
now.
eagles and olds in one.
Another one, Carl.
That was a 1. That was a 1+ actually.
Yeah.
That was a lovely golf shot.
I've hit a great shot straight down the middle and unfortunately ball in divot.
Yeah. And I think what this is, Matt, is an opportunity to look at. For me, if there was somebody said, well, what's the number one mental skill you need to work on to get the best out of your game, to access your skills, it would be acceptance. People get acceptance wrong. They think, oh, is acceptance giving up or, not caring? Acceptance is a willingness to deal with the reality of the game.
Yeah.
Now, the reality of the game is you've hit, I mean, that was a pure 1 off the tee, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's probably the best, long iron I've hit.
Lovely shot.
Yeah.
We've come down here, now we can spend 20 minutes saying how unfair it is, shouldn't ended up in a divot, shouldn't end up there and all the rest of it. All that's going to do is trigger the sort of brain to just go into woe is me and all the rest of it. My question for you is, do you have the skills
Yes.
to play that shot?
Yeah.
Right, so what is the shot? What is the shot here in this situation?
So I've got my 52 out. I'm going to land it 4 or 5 paces onto the green maybe.
Yeah.
3 or 4 because it's going to come in lower and it'll just be a little skiddy sort of flat shot for himself.
What's the feel of the shot with that? What's the requirement here?
Yeah, so it's going to be down and across a little bit more to get that ball turf contact a little bit more.
Now, what was that?
I'm going to say 1.
That was an absolute pure 1.
Yeah.
Now, with the old Matt there, you wouldn't have been probably paying enough attention to the requirements of the shot, would you?
Oh no, literally I would stand over that golf ball. So it was like, obviously it's great that you're here and you're asking me the question and what do we need to do. If I walked to that golf ball, 24 hours ago and I've just hit the best tee shot that I've hit in a long time and I get to that, I would think like, why me?
Why me?
Like, this is a joke, like, come on. And I would have stood over it, wouldn't have gone through the detail of the flight, the landing zone, the spin. I would have probably duffed it to near the front and then carried on and told my partners about, like, you can't believe it, like, did you see that
I shouldn't hit a tee shot like that and end up in a divot. But
you see what happened to me as well? Now it's like, that's probably, even the sound, I got like a little bit involved in the sound it was going to make when I struck it.
Yeah.
And I got that, and I'm not, like, that's done now, so we can move on.
For me, everybody can look at acceptance as a skill.
Can you train it?
You can absolutely train it.
Okay. Doesn't matter. The big thing is, Carl, you said we can train this.
Yeah.
For me, if I ever think of the mental game, do you know what I think everyone does? Listens to one Bob Rotella tape and they're fixed.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think like, do you know what? I'll hold my hands up. Before I played Open qualifying, I did exactly that. I thought I'll get golf, not the game perfect. I'll listen to it and all my mental flaws will be gone forevermore.
That's a little bit like thinking you could read a book about training in the gym, and all of a sudden you transform your body. You know, you know, by reading the book, the information might be good, but you've got to pick some key things and see it as skills to develop.
How do we do it?
Well, there's the app that I've got, the MindCaddy app. There's specific areas that you can go to when you join us, and the specific areas like acceptance. There's a key program on there where people can work through it, home in on that.
A training course.
It's a training course, yeah. It's an audio program. You go to that particular section. I would say virtually everybody could develop better acceptance skills, but it's step by step, and you go through it, and you know, at the very least, you'll have a different relationship to the game. Right
then, Carl, final hole of the day. We're gonna.
I heard you just say before as we were walking up here, Matt, this is where I usually mess up.
For those that have watched Pete Finch's video, we had a major just before Christmas. Myself, Pete and Andy. I was leading, I think. I lost it down this hole. I turned it left.
Right.
I generally hit it a little left at the minute down here.
I think this is another good opportunity to look at acceptance, because you know, people think that players out on tour, they've got these steely minds and they're never going to have negative thoughts. Thoughts like that are going to pop into our head. We're not going to stop that. That's the reality. What happened when you played Pete happened. We're not going to erase that, but we come back to, all right, accept that those thoughts have passed through your mind.
Yes.
You don't have to buy into them. It comes back to the old thing, well, what is the shot here? What are we actually trying to do?
I'm going to hit, so there's the flag we can see on the men's course, as it were, or formally the right edge of the clubhouse, the left edge of the clubhouse as we look at it. I'm just going to hit it at that with a tiny little fade finishing towards that middle trap.
Okay.
Is my shot. Oh, wind's got it. No.
Okay.
I think I saw it bounce, but it's in the rough. I actually thought that was a pretty good shot, but
so it was a. That wasn't a.
I'd say it was a 2.
It was a 2, definitely.
Yeah, it's just leaked a little bit more, but it's in the coral rough now, so I'm panicking. Dead. Dead is the word I would use here. I hope everyone at home is like picked some really good nuggets up from it. Even just from me, my mood, obviously holding one helps, but even just the acceptance, the what I'm thinking about, what I'm trying to do here now, is totally changed. This has just come a couple of, you know, one pace away. If I'm here,
you're fine.
I can hit a 9-iron all day onto that green as well. Here, I'm digging a wedge out, and it would be a case of.
You would have created a story about it.
Yeah, I would have said, like, that doesn't deserve that. I saw it bounce. How's it managed to get here? I can't get to the green. Why is this me? And
it just is.
It just is. I think that's a good, like, if we take anything from today, that's brilliant. Like 1, 2 and 3 is it just is.
It just is.
And yeah.
But I think with all what we've talked about today, Matt, you know, it would be a shame for you to not release your capabilities, and you've got to see what we've been talking about today as a set of skills to develop. Tragic in a way if you develop some skills with Damien, but then you don't match it with some of the skills that we've been talking about here.
And is that where the app comes in?
You've got specific training programs depending on what your requirements are. So what are you looking at here, Matt? What's the shot?
This is, I'd just class it as just, I'm trying to thud it towards the clubhouse here. Okay. I've got my pitching wedge out to try and cover this first stuff. It's got loft, it's got a little bit of a clearing before it, but yeah, I'm thinking it's just a straight thud down into the ground, and
that's the shot.
Yeah, get it forwards more than anything here.
Hold on. Good.
Torn my arm ligaments, but we're okay. Old me, Carl, would have found that mud spot there, but new me's thinking, I'm going to chip this in with a little.
You're looking at the possibility.
Yeah, I'm looking at what I could achieve here. Little 52, back in the stance, low fizzer, couple of skips, and it's going to drop in.
Okay. Great shot. Nicely played. One.
Spun up more than I thought that.
Now, since we've been talking about 1s, 2s and 3s, how many 3s have there been?
Has there been one?
I don't think there's been one, has there?
There's not been one. No, not been one. There's been, more 1s. There's been an actual one. And, a couple of 2s.
Yeah. Get up.
Ah, left it shy. Oh well. Que sera, que sera. Well, ladies and gents, some absolute pearls of wisdom from Karl. Some absolute pearls, and I think you've summed up there. You know, I've got to commit to 1, 2, and 3 for the year, instead of just it being a flash in the pan. And there's you know, hundreds of nuggets there, I would say, that are going to get us better. Make sure you're checking Karl out over on his app. We'll link it down below, and also over on his socials. And we're going to go and celebrate.
Let's go and have that beer that you're going to buy me.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. See you soon, guys.